What's up, everybody? Alex here from Heavy New York. We got another awesome guest. We got Marc of Dragonforce here. Thank you so much for being here.
Cool, man. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here. Last time I spoke with Herman at NAMM, and we talked about the ending cycle of Maximum Overload. This was before they announced the album, so new record, Reaching Into Infinity. It's been out for about a month now or something like that.
Yeah.
How's the record cycle been so far in such a short period of time?
I mean, it's been really cool. I mean, not only are we're getting like really good reviews and stuff for everyone who's listened to it, but playing the songs live as well. It's coming across really well. Like, we're getting requests for songs that, ones we hadn't considered playing yet. So yeah, apparently people like it, and yeah, a lot of fun playing live.
That's awesome. And this is your third record with Dragonforce, I believe, right?
Yes.
Power Within, then Maximum Overload, then this.
Yep.
So now that this is your third record, I'd imagine just coming into Dragonforce, maybe there was trial and error. So with the third record, did you go into the studio knowing, okay, this is what we got to do, this is what we're doing? Like, was it maybe easier to do it than previous records?
I mean, it was a bit easier because I basically made the decision that I want to do the vocals from home. So I have my own studio set up and stuff, and I was like, I want to spend more time on this. I don't want to be rushed. And if you're in a studio and other people are telling you what to sing, it's not quite as organic as if you kind of do it yourself.
Yeah.
So
too many cooks in the kitchen.
Exactly. Yeah. So this time I was kind of left to my own. They said, yeah, go ahead, record it and see what happens. And therefore I think this is the best vocals I've done on an album. But yeah, songwriting wise and stuff, it was still Fred and Sam doing it, but yeah.
That's really interesting to hear because, I've heard stories of some bands, they would be like, oh, they cut the vocals here so it wasn't as organic with the whole band playing there. But I guess when you're hearing the music and you're by yourself in your own studio, it's easier for you to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at the end, I'm sure that some stuff was still cut out here and there to make the songs better and stuff. But yeah, it's just way easier to do your own takes, so you can take your time on it and make sure you perfect it before you send it off. Yeah.
Now, Dragonforce has a really unique style of music and a lot of different things going on with Herman's solos and the keyboards and all these symphonic elements and fairly long songs. I mean, how is the songwriting process working? Like, do you have vocals in mind and then they write according to your vision, or do they just present you the music and you sing according to that?
It's mostly the second one, to be honest. It's like, because from the beginning, Sam's been writing most of the stuff, and he's been doing the vocal melodies as well as all the guitar stuff. And now Sam and Fred working together. And again, like when you write a song, you write with the vocals being the main focus. So by the time the song gets to me, they're like, yeah, I want the vocals to be exactly like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then the thing is, so there's always some leeway, like I can sing something else and like, oh, shit, I didn't think about that. That's actually better, or whatever. So here and there, make some changes and stuff and put my own twist on it. But 90% of the time, they've already kind of that's what I want because that's the catchiest I can think of. So yeah.
That's interesting. So, I mean, does part of you almost wish, I wish I kind of had more of a say in it, or is it easier to just be like, they had the set in stone, so I could just go right into it? Like, is it at all like?
I mean, a little bit. It's just like, like what they have written is normally pretty much the best thing for the chord progression that they've already presented me with anyway. So it's kind of like I hear it and I'm like, wow, that's super catchy. I wish I could have thought of that. So most of the time, it's like I'm happy to sing what they gave me, but occasionally here and there I'm like, I would have preferred it differently, but ultimately they know what they're doing. They've been doing it for long enough, so yeah.
Exactly. Now, Dragonforce is one of those bands I feel that could really appeal. Like I've seen you guys before, and I've seen people in like Morbid Angel and Cannibal Corpse shirts watching you guys, but I've seen people wearing Nightwish shirts and, of course, your shirts. So Dragonforce to me, it really appeals to like a heavier crowd and a lighter crowd. I mean, would you say you have a very experimental style of music that could appeal to multiple audiences?
Yeah, I mean, I think because our music is still extreme. It may be melodic and stuff, but it's just as extreme, really, when you think about it, as all the heavier things, like you said, Cannibal Corpse and stuff like that. Like we're still playing 220 BPM, some songs 240 sometimes. So I think. Well, there goes the VIP. Yeah, we'll pretend it didn't happen. I mean,
They're applauding to the BPMs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, 240. But no. So I think that's probably one of the things that crosses genres. Like people who like musicians pushing things to the extreme. That isn't just if they're into like their death metal stuff, they can still appreciate the drumming that we're doing, or say some of the riffs we're doing, and even death metal vocals I'm doing in some of the songs now. So there is this crossover thing that I think is works pretty well.
Exactly. And I mean, Dragonforce has toured with bands as heavy as Slipknot. You're touring with Once Human, which is like Arch Enemy 2.0. Yep. But I've seen you tour, like you did that tour with Camelot a couple years ago. You've toured with Killswitch Engage, Iron Maiden. I mean, do you notice, depending on who you're touring with, maybe a different audience in the crowd and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like since I've been in the band, I'm just trying to think who I've toured with. It's been quite different to us, but the one that sticks out is probably Trivium. We toured with Trivium in South America.
Oh, wow.
And that was really cool because, again, like, you kind of cross-promoting each other, aren't you? So, like, when we're playing, if they turn up to a Trivium show just to see us, which probably never happens, but then those people will be exposed to them, and then obviously the Trivium fans are exposed to us. And it's just like, it's cool because there is this crossover, and just because you may have some preconceived idea about what the support band's going to be like, until you actually see them in the flesh, can you really make your mind up on them? So we had loads of fans coming up saying, I just came to see Trivium, but actually I bought you guys' album afterwards and stuff. So yeah, it's cool, and it's always like, it's equally fun, even if they're like just power metal nerd fans, or if they're like into whatever. Yeah, it's always good.
Exactly. Now, you guys being from the UK, I mean, that's, some people consider the metal capital of the world, home of Sabbath and Maiden and so many other bands, you guys, and, you know, so many, like Cradle of Filth, Bullet for My Valentine and stuff like that. So can you maybe lecture us New Yorkers, how crazy is the metal in Britain? I mean, to this day, is it still just as big as it?
I mean, funnily enough, I'm not even the best person to ask about that. Like, I live there, but I mean, I can't remember the last amazing band that came out of England in the last 5 years or so. But I know that, like, the whole British new wave of heavy metal stuff, that all came from us and everything.
Yeah.
But new music wise, I'm too busy touring and stuff. I don't even know, like, what's going on right now. Yeah.
But you toured here in New York quite frequently. Like, I know that you were here back in September 10th. Yes, September 10th at St. Vitus.
Yep.
I know that you were here before that with Camelot. So you've been in New York quite a bit. What's your take on us New York headbangers from being in New York?
I mean, it's really hard to tell, man. Like, I mean, I love the city, I love the place, and I love coming here. And the people have always been good. But it's so difficult because when we're on tour on a tour bus, every day merges into one, and sometimes I'm like, well, so what are the fans like from that city or that town or whatever? It's kind of hard to remember, but one thing I will say is that since touring in the US, like, the reaction has always been good everywhere we've gone, and yeah, it just seems to be one of those territories where when you play there, the fans really appreciate it and stuff. So, and actually last time, yeah, St. Vitus, that was a really great show, actually. Yeah, that crowd was particularly good.
And that's a small and loud venue. I got to ask how many people got thrown onto the stage when you were...
Oh, who knows, actually. There were quite a few, I think. Yeah. That was one of those hot and sweaty ones, but it was cool. Yeah.
I mean, if it ain't sweaty, it ain't metal, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly. So before we go, thank you so much for being here first. But Reaching Into Infinity is out. Is there any other tours or something that you're allowed to and would like to promote?
I mean, basically after this, we've got a couple of festivals coming up literally a couple of festivals in Mexico, US. Then after that, we have the second half of the world tour. So we're touring the UK, and then we're touring all of Europe. So that's coming up. Yeah, just got to get home from here, have a sleep, and then off we go. Start again. Yep.
Excellent. It's the start of a new record cycle, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So a lot more touring to be expected.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have you here in New York City again
Yeah,
soon.
sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. But thank you so much for being
man.
here. I really appreciate it. Everybody, Marc from Dragonforce, be sure to pick up the new record, Reaching Into Infinity. Catch them on their tour with Once Human. Two kick-ass bands on one tour. You do not want to miss them. Alex from Heavy New York and Alta Music, everybody.